Walkie-talkies or two-way radios, whatever you call them, we've all used them at some point.
They're a super easy way to communicate with family and friends, and even work colleagues.
But in 2023, in a world where everybody's got smartphones, why do we need something like this? That is a pretty good question, but the main reason is because of the way these offer instant communication. You push this button on the side and the other radio's hearing what this one's transmitting straight away. No delay, they're super reliable, and they don't rely on any cellular infrastructure. So you don't need to have the internet, you don't need to have a SIM card in here or pay for a line rental. These particular radios are license free. You can start using them straight out the box. But there is a drawback. It's not all rosy. These things usually have a limited range. But given that this is a brand new product here from this company called Icom here, I wondered if technology had moved on a bit. Are they actually any better than they were when I last tried them? So that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to range test these things, see how far they'll go. So this new radio is called the Icom IC-U20SR. It's basically a 16-channel PMR 446 license-free radio. You don't need a license to use it. You can just take it straight out of the box and start using it straight away. It's water resistant, it's got 21 hours of operation time, and it's USB chargeable, which is really neat because a lot of these radios have some weird and wonderful chargers, like desk chargers and stuff. But you do actually get a desk charger in the box as well. There it is, sitting on its desktop charger, which also has a USB-C port on the side. Now, Icom stuff is incredibly high quality. Everything from the buttons to like the actual overall build quality just feels really, really premium. These have got some pretty cool features, like this range test feature, which you basically just press this button on the side here and it will contact the other radio, and the other radio will send a message back to say if it's in range or not. So you can see this, it says basically okay, as you'd expect, because it's quite near it. It's really cool, that feature. That's going to help me with my range test. So what I'm going to do first, I'm inside the house, I'm going to take this radio and I'm going to very professionally mount it on the window here on this cardboard box. So basically it's got a pretty good line of sight to where I'm going to go, which is sort of over that way somewhere. And I'm just going to go walkies with the other one and then just basically hit the range test button and see if it actually comes back with a okay signal, which obviously it has done there because it's only behind me. Right guys, so I've got the other radio. I'm at the end of my road and I'm about 100 metres away from basically the house where the radio is. So let's just push the little button and just see if we get a signal report back. There we go. How cool is that? Such a good feature, that. Right, on to the next location. Actually, just before I do, I'll record a bit of audio because I'm actually recording the other radio, so you should hear what I sound like. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4.
Right, I'm by the next location now, a bit of a busy road. This is about 200 metres away, so let's just try the little signal test thing. There we go, still in range. Right, this is a second
signal test, down at the dual carriageway. Second signal test down at the dual carriageway.
People think I'm a copper standing here. Right, so next test is about 350 metres, I'm guessing, so 0.35 of a kilometre. Let's try it. So you actually, can you see the bars coming back? You can see the signal of the actual radio transmitting back. So there's 2 bars there, which is still pretty good. Right, let's do my little test.
Right, down at Hartlepool, testing 1 2 3 4, testing 1 2 3 4.
See how that comes out. Right, now those of you who've watched some of my other range test videos, you'll probably know this location. This is the church up here in the graveyard. This is usually pretty good for signal directly from mine because it is quite line of sight, but let's just see anyway. Yeah, actually look at that signal coming back. I'm pretty sure it's like 3 bars, so it's pretty much nearly full signal. So let's test this out and see what happens on the other end.
Right, testing from the graveyard, Let's see what the signal's like. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4.
With these radios, it's always good to hold the antenna upwards.
Sometimes you see people like that, it's not great for the signal.
Right, I'm in quite a dip now, look. You can see that is basically uphill. So I've come from the top of this hill and down, and that's not good for radio because the terrain is obviously going to come into play. So let's just test this out and see what happens. I'm not expecting this to work. Is it going to work? That's pretty unbelievable, guys. What was the signal? It was showing 3 bars still. That's ridiculous. Right, okay, let's do a test then. So testing 1, 2, down by the Colgreen Way.
Testing 1, 2, down by the Colgreen Way.
So far, based on that little range ping, saying whether the radios are in range or not, I'm impressed. Right, just checking on the map, that's not quite a kilometre. It's like something like 850 metres or something like that. So let's go to a kilometre and see what happens. Right, so next location. I'm over a kilometre now. This is over a kilometre away. Let's test it out. I mean, I'm gonna do my little shout test as well. Right, over a kilometre away now, over a kilometre away. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, over a kilometre away now, over a kilometre away. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, so this will be interesting. I'm under tree cover now, so I'm in a woodland at the other end of that field, which is, I don't know now, I haven't even checked, but let's just test and see if it does anything. 1 bar still. I mean, how much further have I got to go? I just checked the map. I'm definitely about 1.5 kilometres away, so let's just see if the other end is going to receive me. Yep, testing 1.5 kilometres away.
Testing 1.5 kilometres away, testing 1.5 kilometres away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me at the other end?
I mean, that signal test then was showing like 3 bars, so it's not even dropping. So I'm going to carry on down there. Look, it just drops away. So we are going to end up with a hill in between us at some point, but let's just carry on and just see what happens. Okay, so I've been in and out all of the woods and stuff like that, and I've come out the other side. I'm about, I don't know, I looked at the map, it's about 1.8, 1.9 kilometres away. So, I mean, not expecting this to work at all. Was that actually a... That's ridiculous. There's not going to... I will not be readable the other end, I'll tell you now. It's not going to happen. But we'll try it anyway. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Right, about 1.9 kilometres away. 1.9 kilometres away from the home station. Let's move it around a bit just to see if we can, yeah, make sure it's gonna do it. Give myself a little bit of like height is might with radio stuff. Testing, 1, 2. Now I'm about 3 kilometres away now, and there is nothing at all, so I wouldn't expect that to happen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going down here, because I think that it might go up, you know, rise up a little bit, and in which case we might have a better line of sight, so it might work. I don't know, we'll see, I'm not sure, but we'll just give it a go. Right, so it doesn't get any higher, you just end up at this gravel works over here. Anyone wondering how I'm getting around so fast? I'm using my Kirby Bike Easy Rider equipped mountain bike. So yeah, check the other video out for that. But yeah, so I'm going to see where I can go now. I thought there was a footpath that kind of went up sideways that you could get. I think there is actually. I think I might have just missed it. Oh look, it does. It actually goes through the quarry, so I could have done that. Right, let's just go up there because I can see that it goes up. It's got some steps at the top. If I just go up there and just try it and see if that helps at all. This is the bit I was thinking about, so I'm just going to go up to the top of there and give it a try. 2.7 kilometres away, guys. What do you reckon? Place your bets. Push the button. It's unbelievable. Right, testing at 2.7 kilometres away. 2.7 kilometres away. Testing 1, 2. Well, I just spoke to Helen, she just called me. She just got home and she heard the radio upstairs, kind of, she could hear my voice on it, so that's quite interesting. So what I'm going to try and do now is try and talk to her on the radio, just to show that, you know, this could potentially work. Right, yeah, Helen, do you, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly now. Yeah, I did. Amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's about 3 kilometres nearly.
I'm in something, I'm really practicing, but I don't understand.
Right, he's still there. I think she might have dropped the radio or something. That is so good, isn't it? Yeah, okay, you're back then. What happened? Did you drop the radio?
No, I didn't drop the radio. I dropped the GoPro though.
Yeah, I know. Well, we won't have that side of the recording, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty crazy how far this is going. You know, you wouldn't expect this from these little radios. Right, I'm going to head back.
Okay. Over and out.
Over and out. Good buddy.
What's it I'm going for? 10-100.
A 10-100. So great bit of fun with these radios, and thanks to Helen for getting involved right at the end. That was a nice little touch to the test. So actually really impressed with these radios. They are quite expensive, so I did think they would be good, or the best they possibly can be, running the limited power that you run on these. You know, it's only half a watt. So they do, because they're license free, you know, that's the reason. So starting from the beginning, what actually happened in this test. So what I did was obviously put this in the window here, mounted it in the window, just stuck it on top of that piece of cardboard box. Now the reason I did that was to give the radio the best chance it can have of getting its signal out and receiving signals in. By putting it in the window and having a big line of sight outside, you actually giving the radio eyes basically, so it can, whatever you can see out there, you should be able to get a signal back. So that's the first thing. PMR 446, which is what these run on, it's 446 megahertz. It's sort of like an ultra high frequency. It's not, you know, like microwave or anything like that, anything like what your phone is, but it's very high, so it is susceptible to obstacles. So if you've got stuff in between you, it's not really going to work that well. It does work quite well. It will pass through some objects, but you know, if you get lots and lots of stuff in a row, like in a big housing estate with loads and loads of houses, you might have trouble. So to give it the best shot, obviously I put it in the window, and then I sort of went out and did my individual tests by just pushing the signal report button on here. Now, generally with these radios, or all radios, if you can hear the signal at one end, they can probably hear you at the other end, providing they haven't got loads of kind of local noise or anything like that. So going by that feature and just using that little button on the side to just ping the other radio, and the other radio comes back, that is a really good way of kind of seeing if, you know, the radios are in contact or reachable to each other. And it actually really works, because right at the end of the test, Helen came on and we could have a two-way conversation based on, you know, just getting a good signal report from the radio. Now, some of you might be thinking, why is he so impressed? It's only gone like a kilometre, or it's only gone 3 kilometres. Well, when you actually start using these things, you will realise that actually that is quite good performance for this stuff, because when you sort of take it out the box and you go and start using it, you might find that, you know, you might only be 500 metres down the road and you're not getting anything at all. So a lot of it is about understanding how radio works. And, you know, it's not just as simple as just holding that there and then, you know, the other person's going to hear you no matter what. It depends on so many different factors. So it's useful to know. And of course, you know, holding the radio up is actually going to make a lot of difference, because the antenna has a good chance to, you know, better chance to get out. If you're holding it like that, then it might be, you know, you might be blocking the signal. You know, it's a bit like when you were trying to pick up old radio stations. You'd move the radio around and it would, you know, the signal would go and it'd come back. That is exactly the same principle. So when I was talking to Helen, I got her to talk a little bit off camera so I could position my radio where her signal was strongest. Once I got that, I could then just literally just have a perfect two-way conversation with her. So it's all stuff to sort of think about when you're using these radios. They might not just work for you out of the box, but this sort of radio is going to get you really good performance, as best as it can be, I would say. Really impressed with it. Sound quality is amazing. There's lots of other features on this radio which I haven't gone into in this video. Mainly I just wanted to sort of show you guys, you know, how these things work, and there are other brands, of course, and other radios you can buy, but I would say that this is one of the best I've seen, one of the most expensive as well. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this one. If you want to know more about radio and stuff, head over to our Discord. I've got a radio section on there. Other people that know about radio stuff are on there, so you can sort of converse with them, and I chip in now and again. Also, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you had some really interesting experiences with PMR 446? Some people do crazy stuff like go to hills at the weekend and talk to people 30, 40 plus kilometres away. There's been records of multiple 100 kilometre kilometres away. You can get some weird conditions that happen in the ionosphere that will mean that your signal can travel across the sea. And it's a really interesting hobby, guys. Anyway, I won't waffle on anymore. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video.